Hey guys, good evening. It is 9:30 p.m. on Tuesday, March 12th, 2019. Hope everybody's doing well. So guys, just a quick update regarding the British pound. So, as I mentioned in my last couple of videos, things were going to get wild this week with the pound, and certainly we have seen that. I have chosen to not trade it because there's just too much whipsawing going on. As these things are occurring and the votes are taking place and sentiment is changing. But I just wanted to give you a quick update in case you have not been following, and hopefully you are, because if you're taking pound trades, you really need to know about this stuff. Because I don't care, whatever technical system you're using right now is not going to work unless you are at least aware of what's going on fundamentally with the pound. So here's what happened today. Around mid-afternoon New York time, um, here on the East Coast of the U.S., there was a vote and to try to pass Prime Minister May's Brexit deal that was negotiated for a while, along with and had the blessings of the EU for Brexit. And as expected, that was rejected by 149 votes, as you can see here. Although that wasn't as bad as they thought. They were figuring they were going to lose by over 200. So, what's next? On that news, we initially saw the pound rally, and I'll show you some of the charts. That was just kind of a classic sell the rumor, buy the fact. It was widely expected to fail. But I think this statement about that it didn't fail by as much, at least initially gave the pound some support and it rallied, but it quickly turned back down as some of the negative sentiment crept back in, and as far as what the EU was going to support going forward. So what's going to happen next is tomorrow there's going to be another vote, and this vote is to rule out a no-deal Brexit. And that one is also expected to fail. And then the next thing would be on Thursday. They're going to vote to extend the Article 50 process, which basically gives the UK at least a couple extra months of negotiating with the EU in order to work out a deal. Now, the EU also has to agree to that extension, and there's been a lot of mixed signals coming out of the EU that they're not too thrilled with that, and if they don't think that it's going to mean anything, then they're not going to do anything. They're going to vote against it. So, but I think they're leaning towards, if that's the best they're going to get, they'll probably support it. So that third and final vote will come on Thursday, and assuming that passes, if that doesn't pass, then you're going to see the pound fall through the floor, because then that basically only leaves a hard Brexit. But assuming that is supported, which I think it will, then we'll see things stabilize for a time. So then what happens after that is going to be, how soon are we going to see a deal worked out? That will give them, anywhere from 1 to 3 months to work out a deal, depending on what the EU agrees to in terms of a time frame. And this date in June here is kind of a symbolic date, because it would mark the 3-year anniversary of when the Brexit vote took place in Britain. It's amazing that it's going to be 3 years. I remember when that happened. Seems like just like last year. So, but that's going to be kind of the path going forward here, and it's going to really depend on on what everybody can come up with. And then, the pro-Brexit people are, probably not going to like anything other than just to get out. But Prime Minister May doesn't want to do that. The EU doesn't want to do that. And so there's still this push and pull going on. But the bottom line is, guys, there's going to continue to be volatility and uncertainty and sentiment shifts and swings in the British pound, at least the rest of this week. Now, again, if eventually the Article 50 is approved, then I think you will see the pound eventually rally, because it's going to give the market at least some hope that even though it's going to be extended, that a deal will be worked out. So unless the worst case scenario happens for the market, which on Thursday, which is the Article 50 is voted down, the Article 50 extension, then I think longer over the intermediate term, the pound probably will be supported. So if we go to the charts, and all the pound pairs pretty much look like this. So this is the hourly chart. And so leading into the news, we had some rallying back. And then when the vote failed, we had selling, and then the market kind of stabilized a little bit, and then it kind of drifted lower. And so this is where we're at now. So you can see this just huge volatility swings. I mean, this move up is 350 pips, and then it's almost 350 pips, obviously back down. So huge swings in the market, and all the pound pairs look like this. Okay, some are a little deeper than others, but they all look the same. Okay, so it really doesn't matter. I put a Fibonacci on this one just to measure this move back down. It's sitting right at the 78.6. So, I mean, like I said, guys, my initial feeling is that the pound will continue to be neutral to weak over the next 24 to 48 hours. But I do think at that point, assuming the Article 50 is extended, that we'll see it supported. But please, guys, don't take any trades based on what I'm saying. This is just my analysis and what I've been reading. Okay, but there's a lot of uncertainty. Like I said, I'm not going to be trading the pound at all until this is kind of worked out. So you do what you want, but please practice good money management, risk control, because this can quickly turn against you in a heartbeat. And I would be really cautious on Thursday. I think the vote tomorrow is probably pretty much decided, but Thursday, if things go the wrong way, could really be ugly for the pound. So, although I don't think that's going to happen. All right, so just take a look. We also had U.S. dollar CPI today. Really came in as expected to slightly under, so it really didn't do anything. It was not market moving at all. The dollar just kind of continued to wander a little bit, but certainly didn't really have much impact on the market. As far as other pair goes, I was just sitting here drawing Elliott wave patterns on some of these Aussie pairs and Kiwi pairs. So I'm not necessarily going to trade these, and these are all strictly just technical trades. I don't believe there's anything really coming up the rest of the week. There's no Aussie or Kiwi news coming out the rest of the week. So this is just going to kind of be an autopilot. So that's why I think there might be some technical trades. The Kiwi has been pretty well supported, so I think this move down is just kind of corrective and profit taking during the Asian session. Most of this move has been taking place since New York closed, so I do think this will turn back up, and a lot of the Kiwi pairs look like that. And kind of the same story for some of these Aussie pairs. The Aussie's been kind of supported. There's some better news coming out of trade and with China and things like that. So the Aussie's been supported, although just got to keep in mind that the overall trend is still down. And I think the Aussie fundamentally is still weak. So, but in the near term, we could see some support here. So, and, so those could be potential trades to look at. And the only other big event we have coming up the rest of this week is overnight Thursday, well, where I live anyways in New York, late Thursday into probably early Friday morning, the Bank of Japan will have their monetary policy statement and press conference. Now, this has really been a non-event for many months because they have not changed any of their guidance. There is some thought, though, that I think that's here. Yeah. So there is some thought that they could potentially announce a little bit more stimulus going forward in their statement, and so that if they do that, that's going to weaken the yen, and so we could see the yen crosses rally on that if that ends up happening. So that's so keep an eye on the yen going into Thursday night, Friday, depending where you are in the world. just be aware of what's going on with the yen. That, like I said, that has not been a tradable event for many, many months. But if they change their forward guidance and they become more dovish, then then as this analyst says, then there is potential to see some weakness in the yen. So keep an eye on that. Okay, so that's it. Really, guys, it's mostly about the pound. And I just want to point out a couple of other things. The euro is continuing to show some strength, and I think a lot of this is being driven by the pound too. That it puts the European Union in a little bit stronger position. But let's remember that the euro is still fundamentally weakened. I do have this Fibonacci drawn here on the hourly chart. That this is a completed trend. Now we've rallied back to this wave 4. So this is one pair on the Euro Kiwi that I could be looking for a short, especially since the Kiwi seems to be wanting to go back up. So obviously if the Kiwi continues its strength up and the Euro Kiwi will go down, especially in light of Euro weakness. So this is a potential trade setup to look for, guys, is a sell on the Euro Kiwi and a buy really on any of the Kiwi pairs. All right, so something else to keep an eye out for. So that's it going forward for the next couple of days, guys. Buckle up and just be very careful if you're going to trade the British pound. All right, guys, take care. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.